Thank you. So, welcome everybody. Hope everybody had a great lunch. And so we will happy to have here Colm and Alessandro on stage from both Corrata and Hypergate. So during this session we'll do some discussion about some hot topics in the space where both companies are working in for the moment. Let's kick off. First question. So, can you briefly introduce yourself, Colm, and you already did as in your name, but also present a little bit about your company.
As I said already, Colm Healy. I'm CEO and co-founder of Corrata. So I'm in the mobility business for the last 20 years. Since data and mobile came together. Originally had a startup which was sold to the American semiconductor company Qualcomm. Worked with them for a good few years before establishing Corrata. So with Corrata, we felt that the current set of tools that were available for organizations to protect their devices from being hacked was inadequate. Thought that they focused too much just on reporting about vulnerabilities and risks, and not enough on actually protecting the devices. So we've pioneered a new approach. We've developed an enterprise, the first, I believe, the only enterprise-grade firewall for mobile. So it allows you to protect the device by putting effectively a firewall in every single device, which allows you to make sure that the device really addresses the biggest threats that you have for mobile, which is that the device will be hacked in some way with malware, or that your employees will be phished through phishing attacks or social engineering attacks.
Okay, so that is what you see as the added value of your company, as putting a firewall on a mobile device.
I suppose in terms of what we do, we're protecting the device. So rather than finding out afterwards about the device having been infected or hacked, we're preventing that happening in the first place by making sure that the malicious actors aren't able to aren't able to digitally attack your device. So we all are concerned with the physical security of our devices. So we have passwords, encryption, and the like. But fundamentally, we need to prevent them from being hacked by the cyber attackers who are out there, and that's what we do.
Okay, thank you, Colm. So, Alessandro, can you briefly introduce your company and what's your added value as the product of Hypergate?
Sure. So, hello everyone. My name is Alessandro DeCarli, and my career started as a mobile security engineer for large financial institutions in Switzerland. Being Swiss, that's not too far-fetched. About 10 years ago, I co-founded a company, the company that is behind Hypergate papers, focusing in exactly that area, namely mobile security. With one of our largest customers, then later on they developed a burning need for on-premise single sign-on for mobile, offering the same level of experience the user has on a Active Directory enrolled laptop device as well on mobile. So if you're using in the corporate environment a laptop, often it is the case that this is talking to a domain control, an Active Directory domain control, and that's also the reason why you are logging in only once, and then afterwards all the services and everything get delivered to you in a seamless way. And basically this customer, a large insurance company, had the burning need to offer the same also on mobile, so that the employees could really get empowered and get all the data they need on the go. And that's basically what Hypergate is. We generalize the product, and Hypergate is a fast and secure single sign-on solution which leverages existing on-premise infrastructure.
Mainly focused on Android, or
Absolutely. So we're using the Kerberos authentication protocol to offer this. That's the standard being used for Active Directory, and this is for now already available inside iPhones, but not on Android. That's why it's very relevant for Android.
I think you're the only solution offering Kerberos as its own on Android today.
As of now, it's
Okay, and what customers why customers do invest in these kinds of products? What do you think? What is their added value? The added value of your product for the customers?
So I think there are three main drivers here. One is the company actually has to want to offer to employees on the go all the services and data they need from their infrastructure. So all the internal websites, all the internal applications, to offer this on the go. Because if the enterprise only wants to offer a service like email, then Hypergate will not be of any use for that company. It's really if you have native applications and you want to offer them. The second thing is that Hypergate is extremely cost effective because we don't have any backend infrastructure that you need to additionally install. So everything is already there. Basically, if your laptop is already using some sort of Active Directory authentication, then you can start right away and you don't need any additional things. So it's very cost effective. And the last is also that it's agnostic of EMMs and agnostic of hardware vendors, making it lock-in free if you want to use this.
Okay, thank you, Alessandro. A question for you, Colm. What is about mobile that makes it such an attractive target for phishing and malware attacks?
Yeah, I suppose taking phishing in the first instance, it's a couple of things. So if you think about when you're on the corporate network, your main device on the corporate network is protected by a whole range of security infrastructure, firewalls, but also web filters, email filters, etc. So we've put a lot of time and energy and effort into protecting our corporate networks and the devices on those endpoints from being attacked. Of course, as soon as you walk out of the corporate network and you're mobile and you're connecting over God knows whose network owned by a mobile operator, but equally by Starbucks, all of those protections have gone away. So that's one reason why the mobile is such an attractive target for the cyber criminals, because they can see that the protections that they have to circumvent or get over in the mobile world, in the fixed line world or the traditional world, are no longer there. So they look to exploit that loophole, as it were. The other issue, of course, is that the way we all use mobile phones. So we use them on the go. It's all very. We aren't giving them our full attention. Indicators that might tell us that we're being phished, maybe on a desktop, aren't necessarily very visible. You can't even see the URL, or it's maybe at the very top of the screen or beyond the screen, the top of the screen. So it's scroll beyond. So often it can be very difficult. All the little, visual clues that we get on the desktop about being hacked or about being phished are not there on the mobile device. And I suppose finally, mobile opens up a whole range of new channels for phishing. So SMS phishing. So it's not email, it's SMS, it's WhatsApp, it's LinkedIn, it's other social, it's Facebook Messenger. So it's a whole load of other communication channels that are in no way protected against being phished. That's really what makes mobile such an attractive target. And frankly, phishing is probably the threat you are most likely to come across on a day-to-day basis. It's certainly the most widespread threat on mobile. The most dangerous threats are more around advanced malware, we'll talk a little bit later on, but certainly the number one thing that you need to protect against is phishing.
Okay, thanks. And what makes it so difficult to detect mobile malware on a device?
So there's a couple of different things here. The biggest challenge for detecting mobile malware using sort of traditional approaches is that essentially our traditional kind of antivirus type tool approach doesn't work on mobile because, well, one, on Apple you're not even allowed to have an antivirus product, but on even on Android, because of sandboxing, you can't see very much. So an app installed, say an antivirus solution, installed an app, can't see what's going on. Contrast that with the Windows world, where an antivirus program has full administrator access to see what's going on the device, to see unusual and abnormal behavior. So that makes it really difficult. So traditional approaches make it really difficult to detect. So in that environment, the way to do it is by actually looking at the network activity on the device. See what this device is trying to attach to, what it's trying to connect to. So, for example, if we look at the recent WhatsApp hack, so in that case, the initial communication was done over a protocol was a WhatsApp call. So, but immediately after that WhatsApp call, what happened was the application reached out to a server to download some malware. And that's the point at which a product like ours identifies the problem and blocks off that connection. And even if the software actually gets onto the device, what we do is we see all of the command and control traffic, and we can block that command and control traffic and disable the malware, even if it manages to get onto the device.
Okay, thank you, Colm. Question for you, Alessandro. What is it also, I think, in the security approach, why do companies require a solution like Hypergate? Why do they require this?
Well, the company really needs to have this need to empower their employees with actionable data. The other thing is also if you are trying to offer a seamless single solution on Android, Hypergate can really help you because in the best case, the user never sees Hypergate. It just works in the background and takes over all the tasks for the user.
So it's like what we see now in the market, like the zero trust vision, no more passwords. What we see in other MDM vendors, like they're stating now, like we are passwords are a thing from the past. That's typically what you're aiming at, and what's your
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, the user, the way Hypergate works is that it's an application installed inside the work container, and this application comes pre-configured from the MDM. The user does not need to input any credentials. So as long as the MDM says this user belongs to you, we're fine with that, and everything is actually quite simple.
It's perfectly in the vision what we have a motto, like we want to balance security, operations efficiency, and end-user experience. So that's perfectly in this kind of.
Right, and there are tools like asymmetric encryption that really help a lot because it's more secure than user credentials, and it's also a way better user experience.
Okay, so and in that aspect, what kind of protocols do you support, like SAML, OAuth, OpenID? Is Kerberos then not becoming obsolete because we have all these new authentication methods? Is something you're working on as well?
Right, so I believe that there are two questions in one question, right? I mean, one question was whether Hypergate can actually help you with SAML, OpenID, and all those things, and the short answer is yes. A bit longer answer is the way that single sign-on is provided to the laptop users is that, well, the way that it's provided for cloud applications inside a corporate is that cloud applications federate their login using SAML, using OpenID to an internal IDP. And IDP stands for Identity Provider. And this identity provider later on uses, of course, the authentication that is already there, and it's using Kerberos. So if you have an IDP like Okta or Federate or whatever, those guys will be translating all the requests to the on-premise authentication, because only like this you can really offer a seamless login experience for a laptop user, and since we're leveraging the same protocol, you will have the same experience also on the mobile phone. Then the second question was whether Kerberos is going away. Kerberos has been developed in 1970 actually, so it's a very old protocol, and it has been developed with one specific requirement and use case in mind: to be the most secure possible solution out there for enterprise authentication. And for this reason, it is the standard that comes along with every on-premise installation of Active Directory. A lot of companies that have very, very strict security requirements are not using anything else in their company, like banks, government, so on and so forth. So I personally don't believe that it's going anywhere, especially if I see that a lot of banks still are operating with mainframes in their setup. So I don't think this very badly tested stable solution is going on.
Okay, is there a future for capitals as well, besides all the new authentication methods?
Well, you know, it's not sexy. It's not sexy. It is a very old protocol, but it is still one of the most secure ways to authenticate services and users in an enterprise context. So, I mean, why change a winning horse?
Oh, certainly. And it's stable and it has proven its technology. So, yeah. Okay, thank you. So, Colm, question for you: how do you sell your product? What's your, let's say, which channels do you use selling your product?
Well, we tend to work with the trusted mobility solution providers of our customers. So, Opcom, for example, here in this part of the world, but also in other similar companies around the world. Because those kind of companies have a really intimate understanding of mobility, and they have a very good understanding of their customers' setup and infrastructure and what they have in place. So they can make it easy really for their customers to deploy our technology and leveraging the investments they already have in things like MDM, for example. That would typically how we would reach out to customers.
Okay, Alessandro, is it the same for you, or do you?
Yeah, for us it's the same, and that's also the reason why I'm here now and today, because Monaco and Cloud are two of our greatest partners and very competent in that area.
Always nice to hear. Yeah. So one last question for both of you. So how do you see this mobile enterprise evolving in the future, in the coming years? Because we all know that mobile is a very fast moving subject. So how do you see it moving in the next couple of years?
So mobile moves fast, enterprises not so much. If you look at humans nowadays, if you go in a public transportation or even in a restaurant, it tends to have reached the level of already being an addictive device, right? People are more watching inside this device and using that device rather than talking to the people that are next to them. So what we can see is that it is a device they like to use a lot, and it's a device they feel empowered with. And I think the same will also happen to enterprises, that more and more people will be using and leveraging the option of mobility to offer actionable data on the go, so that processes can become more flexible, more efficient, or whatever. We have, for instance, one very nice use case for insurance, the area where we work with, and there you had the underwriter that would go to Brazil to insure large crop fields. And these large crop fields, the guys need to be on site. Before, they always had their laptop, tried to connect to the company, tried to download the contracts, tried to do everything with the laptop, and it basically wouldn't really work that well, so that they needed to go back to the hotel and get that sorted. Now they simply have an application, and they have this 4 eyes principle. Everyone can just accept on their authenticated device the contract, and then it goes through. This is a great example of how business cases can be really moved more towards leveraging
without losing security and user.
Oh, absolutely. This is like the base that needs to be there.
Okay. So, Colm, yeah, same question.
I mean,
for you,
I
yeah?
start by echoing the comments that Alessandro has made. I mean, I think we're really at the foothills of kind of re-engineering the way we work to leverage mobile. I think really, if you look at what we've done today, to a large extent it has been to take existing processes and maybe improve the data capture element of them on a mobile device. But really, when you think about mobile, it really offers you the opportunity to completely change the way in which we processes work within an organization to re-engineer them. So I think that's where we're going to see an awful lot of the action in the coming years. I think that, and I think it was an earlier comment made in the keynote or the opening session. I mean, it used just to be email was on the device. Now it is a huge amount of our critical data, our company's critical data, and we have that. We have mobile with lots of critical data on the device. But on the other hand, we have regulation. Obviously, GDPR being a great example, but frankly, regulation which is insisting that organisations take ever greater care of the data that they hold on behalf of private citizens. So I think when you bring those two together, they're the trajectories that drive us towards having to take mobile security far more seriously, frankly, than we have today.
Okay, so thank you, Alessandro and Colm. I think time is up. So if you want to know more about both solutions, Corrata and Hypergate, they have a booth next to the bar area. So definitely go and visit them. So thank you guys for the nice talk, and hope to do some more business with you in the next couple months.
Thank you. Thank you.